Personally, I am a man.
Hey everyone, I'm Rex, and welcome to the first ever video on Common Sense Loonie. This is the channel where we slice through the political fog and get to the truth about what's going on in Canada. I'm just a regular guy, fed up with the same tired spin, and I'm here to shine a light on stories nobody else is touching. Last week, I stumbled on a report that hit me like a lightning bolt. It's from ChinaIndex.io, and it's a gut check for our country. I caught wind of it on China Uncensored. It's a channel I've been watching for a few years now. Stories about China that are pretty bold and in your face and always revealing. They were breaking down this report that ranks how much influence China has in over 101 countries. They hit the top 5. Number 1, Pakistan. Number 2, Cambodia. Number 3, Singapore. Number 4, Nigeria. Number 5, Thailand. But I needed to know, where's Canada? So I dove into the report myself, and you can grab the link in the description below. Here's the shocker. 19. Out of 101 countries, Canada is at 19th. That's a 1-9. 48% influence score. 19th? I mean, the United States, they're 38th with 42%. That means China's got twice the hold on us. But it gets crazier. In 2022, the same China index had us at 37th out of 101. That's just over 2 years ago. And the US, 21st. So the US went from 21st all the way up to 38th. So they're getting much better. Canada went from 37th to 19th. I mean, heck, the Philippines has less influence from China than we do. So what's going on? How is this happening? Well, today we're tearing into how China's grip on Canada grew and why Justin Trudeau and the Liberals are the architects of this mess, and how China's been meddling in our elections. This is a deep dive, so grab a drink, settle in, and let's get loony with the truth. So what is the China Index? Let's start with the basics. What is this China Index thing? Think of it as a global report card for how much China's pulling the strings in different countries. It's put out by Doublethink Lab, a Taiwan-based group that doesn't mess around when it comes to exposing influence. They analyze 101 countries across 9 areas: economy, tech, media, politics, universities, society, foreign policy, law enforcement, and military. They use 99 specific red flags, like Chinese companies buying your industries or sneaking propaganda into your news, to score each country from 0 to 100%. Canada's score for 2025, 48%, putting us at number 19. 3 years ago, we were number 37. That leap to number 19 is massive, and it's not by accident. To figure out how we got here, we're going to go back in time and trace China's influence from a spark to a full-on blaze. The early years, 1970s to 1990s. Let's rewind to the 1970s. Picture a world of disco balls and questionable fashion. In 1970, Pierre Trudeau, Justin's dad, makes Canada one of the first Western countries to recognize Communist China. It's a bold move, opening trade and diplomatic doors. But back then, China's economy was a ghost town, so their influence was more like a polite nod. We sold them grain, and they sent us cheap goods, and that was the deal. But by the 1980s, China's opening up, and Canada's seeing dollar signs. We signed deals like the 1983 Cooperation Agreement. This would boost trade and cultural ties. In the 90s, Chinese companies start sniffing around our mining and energy sectors, and our Chinese-Canadian community grows to over 1 million people. China's also planting cultural seeds, like early versions of Confucius Institutes at universities. It's a slow burn, like setting up a chessboard. If the China Index existed then, Canada's score would have been low, maybe just 20 to 25% influence. Just a flicker. The 2000s. China gets serious. Let's fast forward to the 2000s. China's like, time to level up. Their economy's on fire and Canada's ready to cash in. By 2006, we're importing $25 billion more from China than we're selling. Think electronics, clothes, everything. Chinese state-owned companies are snapping up our mines and oil fields. And our trade deficit is spiraling. China's also playing the long game. They launched Confucius Institutes, like one at UBC in 2008, to win over our universities. They're cozying up to our 1.1 million Chinese Canadians through groups tied to Beijing's United Front. That's their influence machine. And tech, Huawei is slipping into our 4G networks like a cat burglar. Even CSIS, our spy agency, warned in 2006 that China's trying to sway local politicians, especially in Toronto and Vancouver. But here's the key. Stephen Harper's Conservatives were in charge back then. They prioritized security, especially after the 2008 financial crisis. If we had a China index in 2015, right before Trudeau took over, I'd estimate Canada's score at maybe about 35%, ranking us up around number 50 to 60 out of the 101 countries. That's based on strong trade, some Huawei deals, and community outreach, but no major political meddling yet. China was knocking, but Harper wasn't letting them move in. Trudeau's Liberals, the China explosion. Now we hit 2015, and it's go time for Justin Trudeau and the Liberals. This is where the story goes from, huh, to holy smokes. But let's back up a bit, because we got our first real red flag back in 2013. At a Liberal Party fundraiser in Toronto, he dropped a bombshell.
The level of admiration I actually have for China, because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime and say we need to go green as fast as we need to start investing in solar. I mean, there is a flexibility that I know Stephen Harper must dream about, of having a dictatorship that he could do everything he wanted, that I find quite interesting.
Yeah, you heard that right. Basic dictatorship. They get things done on a dime. It was like a neon sign flashing, warning, this guy's got a soft spot for China. Critics slammed him, but he brushed it off as a clumsy comment. Clumsy or not, it foreshadowed what was coming. Fast forward to 2015, Trudeau wins a majority, promising to make Canada a global player, especially with China. He's all about trade, investment, and big handshakes. But it's like inviting a fox into a henhouse. The 2025 China Index shows Canada's score jumping. That's not a fluke. It's Trudeau's doing. Let's break it down area by area with the facts to prove it. Economy. China's shopping spree. First, the economy. Trudeau's like, China, come shop. By 2016, our trade deficit with China hits $44 billion. We're buying their stuff like it's a fire sale. Chinese firms like Zijing Mining are scooping up our mining companies, controlling resources like lithium for batteries. Technology. Huawei's backdoor party. Trudeau's government let Huawei crash our 4G networks, even when the US was shouting, they're spying, they're spying. We didn't listen. It took until 2022 to ban Huawei from 5G, and by then, Chinese cyber attacks were hitting our tech firms like a digital storm. Society and media. China's PR blitz. China's also running a PR blitz in our society and media. Our 1.8 million Chinese Canadians are a target, and Beijing's United Front is like a slick ad agency, using community groups to push pro-China narratives. On WeChat, they're spreading Beijing's talking points, and papers like Tsingtao are practically China's cheerleaders. Academia. Universities as China's stage. Universities? They are Chinese stage. Confucius Institutes, funded by Beijing, teach Chinese culture, but they dodge tough topics like, human rights. 2 are still open in 2024, and Chinese military scientists are teaming up with our professors on AI and quantum tech. Election meddling. China's democracy heist. Now, the part that'll make you spit out your coffee. China's hijacking our democracy. CSIS confirms China meddled in the 2019 and 2021 elections. And Trudeau's Liberals just shrugged. In 2019, they used cash donations and WeChat ties to boost liberal candidates and tank conservatives like Kenny Chu, who pushed for tougher China laws. In 2021, China wanted a liberal minority government. Guess what? They got it. Fake stories like claiming conservatives would ban WeChat flip votes in key ridings. Foreign policy and law enforcement, Trudeau's blind spot. Finally, foreign policy and law enforcement. Trudeau's been clumsy with China, chasing trade deals and glad handling at APEC. When Canada arrested Huawei's CFO in 2018, China nabbed 2 Canadians, Michael Kovrig and Michael Spivak. And Trudeau's response was like a polite email. In law enforcement, China's running fox hunt schemes to intimidate Chinese Canadians, and shady police stations popped up in Toronto and Vancouver. Trudeau's the mastermind of China's rise. So, why is Trudeau the mastermind of this Chinese takeover? Let's crunch the numbers. In 2015, just before he took office, I estimate Canada's China index score was around 35%, ranking us at number 50 or number 60 globally. That's based on trade, early Huawei deals, and community ties. By 2022, we're at 47%, and now 48%. That's a big leap, and it's got Trudeau's fingerprints everywhere. Under Harper, China's influence was like a campfire, contained. Trudeau, he doused it with rocket fuel. His trade obsession, ignoring Huawei warnings, letting Confucius Institutes thrive, and pretending election meddling wasn't real, it was like handing China a VIP pass to Canada. The US hit the brakes, dropping from number 21 to number 38. Canada, we're racing ahead, and now we're number 19. That's not a whoopsie. That's a Liberal Party disaster. What's next? Join the Loonie Revolution. Here's where we stand. Canada is one of the most China-influenced countries out there, and Trudeau's Liberals rolled out the welcome mat. But we're not stuck. We can demand a foreign agent registry, like Australia, to track China's moves. We can push for election transparency and protect our universities from the Chinese cash. And we can diversify our trade. Less China, more allies. Now, as you know right now, it seems like we're going the opposite direction, and we need to keep a close eye on this. As Mark Carney attempts to soften our ties with America and look for other investors, he's looking in the direction of China. This could be a disaster. So, what you just watched was a big picture overview of how China's influence in Canada has quietly, sometimes not so quietly, grown over the past few decades. From trade deals and telecoms to election meddling and media manipulation. There's a lot to unpack, and let's be honest, most of it hasn't exactly been handled with, shall we say, common sense? That's why here at Common Sense Loonie, we'll be diving deeper into each of these issues in upcoming videos, where we won't just scratch the surface. We'll be naming names, looking up recent events, and asking how the new Mark Carney government plans to clean up this mess, or if they even plan to do anything at all. Our next video will focus on how China has infiltrated Canadian society and media, including how our largest broadcaster, the CBC, has been pressured and, in some cases, outright silenced by the Chinese government. Yes, that CBC, funded by you and apparently filtered by them. Thanks for watching. If you've got a story that's being ignored or buried by the mainstream media, we're all ears. Drop your suggestions in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. We're always open to covering what the legacy press won't. Until next time, stay sharp, stay skeptical, and of course, stay loony.
I'm here to cut through the haze, no disguise. Gonna open your eyes to politicians' lies. Canada's great, but led by wackos, it's true. Time for no nonsense, me and you. I'm the Common Sense Loonie, hear my call. Ditch bingo night games, we'll fix it all. Common Sense Loonie, that's my tune. Bringing truth to the red and white moon.
Personally, I am a man.